Today's SnowMotion chairlift interview is with Bode, one of the greatest skiers of all time, Olympic champion, world champion. What makes you a champion?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of times it's a convergence of a lot of different things, but I was pretty stubborn with my approach. I think that really helped in my case. I was asked to change a lot of times by coaches and friends and family and adjust what I was doing, and I really had a pretty strong belief that what I was doing was going to give me the best chance at being successful. And that, in hindsight, it's always hard to judge, because had I done what they said, maybe I would have been more successful. But I think that my determination to do what I thought was right probably was the biggest single factor in me reaching the level of success that I did. But again, like I said, it's always easy to speculate that it could have been better had I been more flexible.
But I think that's just your personality, to be so determined and stubborn, and maybe that's why you go so fast.
Yeah, I mean, people would say that your natural ability is what it is, and then how you shape that and apply it to the task at hand is what determines your results. So, again, when you look at just absolute objective criteria, like, how many wins you have or how many championships, then I think there's no question that I could have done better had I been a puppet on a string and done exactly what everyone else said. But I don't think my life would have been as full. I don't think I would have had as interesting an impact on other people. And results alone just don't have the impact. That's not what it's all about. There's a whole bunch of other pieces that fit into what the impact is on other, on fans or other racers or the sport as a whole, and certainly on how much you enjoy what you do. Winning is not that fun unless you're doing it in a way that pleases you.
Well, you definitely have made an impact on the sport, because, you're a hero, and we don't have many heroes in ski racing. They're in basketball and football, but you've been a hero for so many kids and for the fans, so I think you took the right path.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're doing what you believe is right, I think you have a pretty big leeway there. People can't really be too critical. It's like, look, I get it, I know, but it's what I believe is right. I'm truly thinking about it. I'm not just winging it, and the approach that I took was something that I believed in, and like I said, it was rewarding beyond the results, and I think I still got enough good results and won enough races to please the masses, here and there. Of course, I disappointed them lots of times too, but that's part of the game, I guess. Inevitably you're going to do that regardless of how much you try to please everybody. So in this case, I think it turned out well.
Yeah, and your fall in the World Championships, cutting your leg, I just feel that was so sad and such a bummer that it happened, and bad luck. And I just feel that your ability to handle those things that come at you like that bad luck, is so great.
That was a hard one, because I put so much energy into that return. I mean, coming back from back surgery with the really compressed schedule that I put together, and the training and stuff was a lot, but I was really confident that I could come back and do it at this hill in front of the home crowd. And I thought it would, when you look back in hindsight, it would have been a huge impact. It would have been an awesome win. It would have been, I hadn't won a world championship medal in a bunch of years, and I certainly was capable. I just hadn't come together, and I think that would have been a fun achievement. And like I said, I did it in a way that I really liked too. So, and I think I had a great chance in the downhill as well the next day. So I could have potentially come out of there with 2 or 3 medals without straining too hard. And then to have that, it would have been one thing if it was just a complete tactical error on my part, but that was kind of one of those random things that happens in ski racing. So, when you're my age, you've had enough of those that you kind of know there's nothing you can do. It's not anybody's fault really, and you just have to bear down. But like I said, in that case, that was a kind of a nasty injury, and it required a whole nother set of rehab and surgeries and all that stuff, which is that stuff's just annoying. I don't like being in hospitals, and I don't like that process of not being able to walk and not being able to play with my kids and all that. So that was frustrating, but at the end of the day, it was what it was.
So you're resilient though. You go through those things and you come back. And that's a great example for younger kids too, growing up and being in this sport.
Well, skiing in particular, I think that's one of the most positive sort of overall attributes of the sport, is that it teaches self-reliance and independence, and it's humbling, and it teaches self-discipline and determination. I mean, you have to be, even if you are a California or Colorado or Utah skier, which I think are completely soft compared to East Coast skiers, you still have to bear down. I mean, it's a tough sport, and it's challenging, and you are alone a lot of the time, so you have to learn about that and what it means to be alone and what it means to to assess your own performances and all those attributes I think are missing in a lot of other sports. So I think either way, whether you're successful or not, you come out of an attempt at a ski racing career and you have good perspective on a lot of different things, and that's something that every parent wants for their children. And even though no parent wants to see their child ragdoll down a GS crash, it's like it is a trade-off.
You switched skis to bomber. Tell us about that.
Well, so I met the owner, and he and I had a really interesting conversation over a round of golf, and we had so many similarities in our view of how the sport should be approached from a branding, marketing side, that it became such a natural fit that we didn't even really have to bang out too many of the details. We just, he had this company that I knew of, and we talked about our philosophies, and then basically by the end of the round of golf, we knew that we were going to go into business together. So, I think it was a great, sort of good luck situation, and Bomber I think has potential to be an amazing game changer in the sport for people.
Wow, I'm excited. The graphics are wild. I'm scared of snakes, and that might make me go faster just having that on my
You can really see them. That's why I like when I ski downhill, I like to be able to see my skis, and Head had white skis forever.
Yeah.
And that used to bum me out, because if the ski's bouncing around, it's almost visually you can see what's doing, and you can know to relax for a second, just wait it out, and that helps.
Yeah. You have created a foundation, actually it's been in existence for a few years, called Turtle Ridge Foundation. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Turtle Ridge Foundation was started for a friend of mine who was in a wheelchair. He got in a car crash, and I was sort of trying to help him get back on his feet. He kept struggling with the financial side of it, and as I helped him, I realized that there was a lot of people that were in that same situation. So the first 5 years or so, I did it just on my own, where I was just donating money, and I was figuring out how to make it work, and helping these programs that existed or help started programs at resorts that would then facilitate getting these guys back on snow and providing the opportunity for them to experience sort of what we all get to experience. And then, once I got the structure and figured out exactly where the biggest challenges were, then I put together the 501c3, got my sister involved, and we really sort of attacked it in a strategic way of trying to make a real impact. And we helped support a bunch of the adaptive programs at the resorts, which I'd already been doing, but we really stepped that up a level. New England Disabled Sports, White Mountain Adaptive. It was perfect because the other resorts around the country were all getting on board at the same time. So it really accelerated quickly, and now it's unusual to not have an adaptive program at a ski area, which I think is a huge step forward in the right direction.
That's
I'd like to be a part of that. And then we built our own adaptive ski, which cut down our costs huge, and we think it's a better performing adaptive ski than anyone else has. So that was something that I was pretty passionate about and really wanted to see through, and it took a few years. It's a pretty big project, as you can imagine. It's starting from scratch more or less, and manufacturing and getting all the pieces and doing the engineering. And Cam Shaw Duran, who's our director of R&D, he really was instrumental in that. Spent thousands of hours putting these things together and testing them out, and he's one of the beneficiaries too. So it's a really positive relationship there. And we've grown a bit, but we've also stayed small, and we've tried to just focus our impact on the things we think really are going to make the biggest difference for the people who are actually getting on snow.
That's so good of you. Turtle Ridge Foundation, that's great. Okay, we're almost to the top. Who thinks Bode's coming back to the top of the podium? Bode, we'll see you soon.
All right.